Have you ever felt like life just paused on you? Like everyone moved ahead, and you were the one stuck behind, quiet, forgotten, misunderstood? Chosen one, this message is not a coincidence. It is a moment that was waiting for you. Maybe nobody clapped for you when you were trying your best. Maybe people you cared for deeply just drifted away. Or worse, they whispered about you when they thought you were down for good. But here is something nobody saw coming. God did not forget you. In fact, what is about to happen in your life will not just surprise your friends. It will absolutely leave your enemies speechless. You see, when God shows favor, He does not do it quietly. He does it in ways that make people stop, stare, and wonder, how did that happen for them? It is going to be that big, that unexpected, that divine. Let me ask you something. Have you been feeling like something is building inside of you? Like something big is near, but you cannot explain why? That feeling is real. It is spiritual, and it is personal. Because what God is preparing to release into your life is not just a blessing. It is a public announcement. You are about to walk into favor so deep, so powerful, so obvious, that even those who ignored you will be forced to say, "This had to be God." So if you are here, it means heaven wanted you to hear this. And trust me, you are right on time. Let us just pause for a moment and breathe. Because what I am about to share with you is not just another message. It is something that your spirit might have been needing for a long time. You have been waiting, patiently, quietly, even painfully. There were moments when it felt like life was passing you by, and you kept asking, when will it be my turn? You looked around and saw others being celebrated, others being elevated, others receiving opportunities that you were silently praying for. And all the while, you were still being faithful in the background. But here is what I need you to hear today, very clearly. God has not forgotten you. In fact, your story is being written in a way that will make complete sense when the page turns. And when that page turns, it will not be subtle. It will be loud, public, powerful. This season that is coming upon you, it is not going to look like your past at all. So let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like you were holding on by just a thread? Like you knew deep inside that something good was meant for you, but it always felt just out of reach? That tension, that spiritual weight is actually a signal. It means something is shifting. You are not crazy for feeling like something is about to happen. You are spiritually aligned, and that inner stirring is real. Now listen closely, because here is where it gets deeper. The favor that is coming will exceed everything you have ever prayed for. Yes, really. It will go beyond what you had in mind when you were praying through tears at 2 a.m. It will stretch further than your written goals, vision boards, or plans. Because God is not just interested in blessing you privately. He wants to make you a testimony that walks, a living example of His goodness. That is why you must stay positioned. You cannot rush ahead of the timing. You cannot try to force your way into rooms that are not yet ready for you. Because the rooms that are meant for you, they will open without you having to knock. Some people are going to ask, how did you get that? Others might think you did something special to receive it. But the truth will be simple. You were faithful and God favored you. And here is something even more beautiful. This favor will not just benefit you. It will overflow. The people connected to you, your family, your children, your community, they will all feel the impact of this blessing. Because when God blesses, He blesses in overflow. Think about that for a moment. What would it feel like to finally wake up and realize, this is the season I was waiting for? To watch doors open that used to be locked? To see the very people who overlooked you now watch in awe as God elevates you. That is the kind of season you are stepping into. But you must remain rooted. You must stay planted in faith, even when your emotions try to pull you away. You must trust the process, even when it feels like nothing is moving. God is not in a hurry, but he is always on time. And when your moment comes, you will not need to explain yourself, because the results will speak louder than any words ever could. Now, before we go further, let me ask you, are you ready to be seen? Are you ready to be favored in front of the very crowd that once overlooked you? Because this is not just a moment, it is a movement in your life. And if you are listening to this right now, it means you are already in position. All you have to do now is believe. Believe that the waiting was not wasted. Believe that your name has been called in heaven. Believe that what is coming cannot be stopped, because it was divinely set aside just for you. This is not hype. This is not empty motivation. This is alignment. This is your appointed time. This is favor that you cannot explain. Before we go further, if this is already confirming your spirit, like this message, comment your city and the exact time you're watching. And if you feel led, sow a prophetic seed, not for the word, but for the faith you carry into it. Let me take you on a journey for a moment, not just through words, but through actual stories of people just like you. People who were counted out, overlooked, even ridiculed, but who experienced God's hand in a way that changed everything. Because you see, when God favors someone, he does not whisper. He speaks through action. And that action often happens when people least expect it. So if you are feeling hidden right now, like life has kept you tucked away in the background, let these stories awaken something inside you. Because God has done this before, and he will do it again. Joseph, from the pit to the palace. You might know his story. Joseph was the youngest, the dreamer, the one with big visions about his future. And like many of us, he shared that dream with the wrong people, his own brothers. What happened next? He was betrayed, thrown in a pit, sold into slavery, lied about, and even imprisoned for something he never did. But here is the twist: that prison was not his end. It was a setup for something far greater. In one day, after years of pain and silence, Pharaoh called Joseph out of that prison and promoted him to second in command over all of Egypt. Think about that. The same person who was once forgotten in a dark cell suddenly became the one giving orders, managing resources, and literally feeding nations during a famine. Imagine the people who thought he would never be seen again, now watching him ride in Pharaoh's chariot. That is public favor. That is what it looks like when God's timing meets your preparation. Can you relate to Joseph? Have you ever been misunderstood, betrayed, forgotten by people who should have protected you? Then maybe, just maybe, your palace moment is closer than you think. Hannah, from mockery to miracles. Let us talk about Hannah, a woman who had everything except what she desired most: a child. In those days, being childless was considered a shame. People whispered. Her own husband's other wife even mocked her. But what did Hannah do? She did not fight back. She did not retaliate. Instead, she poured out her soul before God. She cried, wept, and made a promise in secret. And guess what? God heard her. He gave her Samuel, a prophet and leader of Israel. But it did not stop there. She ended up having 6 children in total. The same woman who people mocked became the one who sang a song of praise in front of them all. Hannah's story reminds us that God does not just answer prayers. He multiplies joy after seasons of sorrow. Maybe you are in that place right now, praying for something silently. Maybe you feel like time is running out. But just like Hannah, your moment could be forming right now in silence, in the background, in faith. Mordecai, from overlooked to honored. This one gives me chills every time. Mordecai was a faithful man. He once saved the king's life by uncovering a plot, but he was not rewarded immediately. In fact, the one in power, Haman, hated him and wanted to destroy him. But then one night, the king could not sleep. And because of that one sleepless night, the king opened his records and realized Mordecai had never been honored. Suddenly, everything shifted. Not only was Mordecai honored, but Haman, his enemy, was the one forced to walk him through the streets, declaring Mordecai's greatness to the entire city. Now just imagine that level of reversal. The very person who plotted your downfall ends up being the one who publicly announces your promotion. Yes, that is what God's timing looks like. So if you feel like your good deeds have gone unnoticed, let Mordecai's story remind you, God keeps the receipts, and when the moment is right, he will flip the whole script. Mephibosheth, from shame to royalty. This one touches the heart deeply. Mephibosheth was the grandson of King Saul and the son of Jonathan. But after the kingdom fell, he became crippled and hidden, forgotten in a place called Lo-Debar, which literally means no pasture, or a place of nothingness. He thought his story was over. He was living in shame, fear, and isolation. But then something incredible happened. King David asked, "Is there anyone left from Saul's house that I can show kindness to?" And they brought Mephibosheth, broken, fearful, limping, into the king's palace. David looked at him and said, "You will eat at my table like one of my sons." This was not just kindness, this was restoration. Mephibosheth did not earn it. He did not have a title or a reputation. He simply received grace. Have you ever felt like life left you behind? Like your pain disqualified you from purpose? Let Mephibosheth remind you, grace does not need credentials. God lifts people from the shadows and places them in palaces. So what do these stories teach us? Each of these people had a moment when everything seemed stacked against them. But that did not stop God. Instead, he used their lowest moments as the stage for their greatest transformations. And here is the pattern you need to see. Joseph's promotion came after isolation. Hannah's breakthrough came after tears. Mordecai's honor came after being overlooked. Mephibosheth's restoration came after rejection. Do you see the theme? God waits until man forgets you, so that when he moves, there is no confusion about who deserves the credit. Maybe you feel unseen right now. Maybe you feel like life has been passing by while you stay hidden in your Lo-Debar. Or maybe you are in that Joseph season, waiting, enduring, misunderstood. But I want to tell you something with complete confidence. You are not behind. You are being positioned. There is a divine rhythm to your life. And just like with Joseph, Hannah, Mordecai, and Mephibosheth, your story is not over. When God blesses you, he will do it so clearly, so dramatically, and so publicly, that no one around you will be able to deny it. You are not forgotten. You are not delayed. You are simply being aligned with unexplainable favor. So keep believing, keep showing up, because just like them, your chapter is coming. Let us be honest for a moment. When we hear phrases like, God will embarrass you with favor, it sounds amazing, but also a bit intimidating, right? Like, what does that actually mean for our daily life? How are we supposed to prepare for something so big, so divine, and so unpredictable? Well, that is exactly what we are going to talk about here. Real, practical, grounded preparation. Because favor from God is not just spiritual, it is strategic too. You are not just going to float into this new season. You are going to step into it with readiness, awareness, and power. Start by changing the way you see yourself. This is where everything begins. Many chosen ones walk around with powerful destinies but a wounded self-image. If you keep seeing yourself as less than, you will unconsciously reject the very favor you prayed for. So let me ask you something. Do you see yourself the way God sees you? He sees royalty. He sees someone set apart. He sees purpose in you. But if you still see failure or not good enough or too broken, then his favor might arrive and you will not recognize it. Imagine getting invited to a royal dinner in jeans and slippers. Not because you are rude, but because no one told you how honored you are. Start affirming the truth about yourself. Write it down if you must. Speak it every morning. Say, I am ready to carry the weight of favor. I am prepared to receive. Clean up internal clutter. Before favor shows up, your inner house has to be cleaned. You cannot walk into the palace dragging resentment, bitterness, guilt, and shame. That baggage is too heavy for a season of light. Think about it. If God is going to elevate you in public, He will first refine you in private. That refining often feels uncomfortable. People may walk away. Old habits might start to fall apart. You might even feel stuck. But here is the twist. This is actually preparation. That isolation, that silence, that confusion, it is not punishment. It is construction. God is clearing the stage because something massive is about to be revealed. Ask yourself, what do I need to let go of before the blessing comes? Document the vision literally. This one is so underrated but powerful. When favor comes, opportunities might rush in fast, so you need clarity in advance. Take out a notebook. Seriously, write down what you are expecting. What kind of favor? Where in your life? How will it impact your family, your career, your calling? This is not just manifestation. This is divine organization. Even in the Bible, God told the prophets to write the vision and make it plain. Writing your vision makes it real. It pulls it out of the spiritual and into the physical. And when things start happening quickly, your written words will act like a compass to keep you grounded. Create space for favor to land. Think of divine favor like rain. If your cup is full of old water, how will you catch the new rain? This means making literal space emotionally, physically, financially. For example, is your schedule so busy that there is no room for new blessings? Are your relationships draining you instead of supporting you? Are you spending energy on things that no longer align with your next season? Start clearing. Unfollow what drains you. Say no without guilt. Rearrange your life like you are expecting a visitor, because divine favor is a visitor, and it is coming. Build a discipline of stillness. Favor might arrive suddenly, but you prepare for it slowly. Create a habit of quiet moments, where you just sit with God. No begging, no questions, just presence. This is not about religion. This is about alignment. Sometimes the greatest clarity comes in silence. Try this. Even 5 minutes a day of stillness, where you breathe and listen, can transform your spirit. You will start sensing nudges, red flags, green lights, things you would normally miss in the noise. Stillness is not laziness. It is readiness. Protect your circle seriously. Let us be real. Not everyone can come with you into your season of favor. Some people only understand your broken version. They may be uncomfortable with your healed version. Some are only supportive as long as you are struggling. The moment things start shifting for you, you might feel subtle jealousy, mockery, or silence. This is why preparation includes protection. Ask yourself, who around me actually believes in the new version of me? Who cheers when I win and prays when I fall? Who secretly competes instead of supports? You do not need a crowd. You need a covenant circle, people who carry your name in rooms you are not in, people who remind you of who you are when you forget. Learn to handle honor without losing humility. When God embarrasses you with favor, people might start noticing you in ways they never did before. You might be invited to places that used to be closed off. You might get praised, celebrated, or even envied. That is why humility is part of preparation. Let favor lift you, but let humility center you. Never forget who carried you through the hard times. Never stop being kind. Never become too important to serve. True favor does not make you untouchable. It makes you a lighthouse. You shine brighter not just for attention but for direction. People will follow your light to find their own. Take small steps, not giant leaps. Preparation is not about perfection. It is about progress. You do not have to figure everything out at once. Just focus on the next small, obedient step. Maybe it is starting that side project. Maybe it is having a difficult conversation. Maybe it is changing a daily habit. Remember, big moments are built through small moves. God is not looking for your performance. He is looking for your participation. Show up even when you feel underqualified. Show up even if you are scared. Favor is attracted to movement. Speak favor before you see favor. Your words are weapons. Use them well. Every day, declare that you are ready. Speak life into your situation. Say things like, I am prepared for divine opportunities. My life is opening up in powerful ways. I receive what is mine, and I walk in grace. These are not just feel-good quotes. They are spiritual codes. Your voice sets the atmosphere. Speak what you expect, and soon you will see what you spoke. So let me ask you, if God embarrassed you tomorrow with unexplainable favor, would your heart, your mind, and your space be ready? This is your time to prepare like the door is already opening. Because honestly, it probably is. Preparation is not always glamorous. It can feel quiet, slow, even confusing. But behind the scenes, something divine is aligning. Get ready, not just spiritually, but practically, because the kind of favor coming your way will not ask for permission. It will just arrive, and you will want to be ready when it does. When God turns the spotlight on you, now take a deep breath. Really pause for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not just another motivational line. It is your turning point. You see, there comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when heaven no longer allows you to stay hidden. That moment is when your preparation meets God's announcement. That is where you are now. And let me say this from the depths of my spirit. God is not about to reward you in secret. No, He is about to publicly favor you in a way that even your enemies will have to admit. This has to be God. Does that thought give you chills? It should, because you are not just stepping into a new season. You are stepping into your divine unveiling. You remember all those nights? The tears that you cried with no one watching? The prayers you whispered while staring at the ceiling, wondering if anyone, even God, was listening? The rejections, the betrayals, the silent heartbreaks that you carried with a smile? Well, every bit of that pain was planting a seed. And here is the thing about seeds. They do not bloom where they were buried. They bloom upward, and everyone sees it. That is what this moment is about. God is going to embarrass you with favor, but not in a shameful way. In a blindingly good way. The kind of favor that feels too big for your name, but fits perfectly on your spirit. Let me ask you something. Are you ready for rooms you did not apply for? Are you ready for platforms that do not match your resume? Are you prepared for people who once ignored you, now calling your name with admiration? Because when favor hits, it is not something you can manage or control. It flows. And when God is the one writing your story, there are no typos, only divine timing. Think about Joseph for a second. One day he was in the prison. The next day he was in the palace, wearing robes he never bought, sitting in a seat he never applied for, and walking in authority he never begged for. But what made that moment so powerful? The public nature of it. The same brothers who sold him into slavery, they had to witness his rise. That is what is about to happen with you. This is not just elevation. It is a demonstration. And here is the most beautiful part. You will not even have to explain it. You will not need to prove yourself or post anything to show you made it. God will speak through your results. Let that sink in. You will be walking proof that heaven still touches earth. But I want you to understand something deeper. Favor is not just for flexing, it is for fulfilling your purpose. When God pours unexplainable favor on someone, it is not just for comfort. It is a commissioning. He is trusting you with visibility, not just so you can shine, but so that His light can reflect through you. So yes, people will stare. Yes, some may gossip. Yes, there will be those who wonder, why you? But let me ask you something in return. Why not you? You paid the price in private. You passed the test in silence. You stayed humble when it would have been easier to fight back. Now it is your time to stand tall, not in pride, but in promise. So walk into this season with boldness in your step and kindness in your eyes. Speak gently but carry power. Stay grounded but do not shrink. Let them see what favor looks like. Let them witness what happens when God chooses someone who refuses to quit. This is your grand finale, not an ending, but a divine climax that opens the door to a new beginning. It is your moment now. No more hiding. No more hesitating. No more explaining yourself to people who cannot see what God placed inside you. He is about to make you undeniable. So I want you to do this. Look back at everything you have overcome. Feel that? That is strength. That is evidence. That is your preparation finally meeting its purpose. And when the spotlight shines on you, do not blink. Stand there and smile, because heaven waited for this moment too. Let me leave you with one final word. When God embarrasses you with favor, it means He is no longer hiding what He has always known about you, that you were chosen all along. Are you ready to be seen? Because the world is about to find out who you really are. Let us pray. Father, I pray for the one listening right now. Touch them from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet. Pour out favor that shocks their circle. Release miracles that embarrass their logic. May healing rush in. May restoration take place. And may their story become evidence that you still move supernaturally. Ephesians 3 verse 20. Now unto Him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly above all that we ask or think, let them walk in exceeding favor. Let this word confirm everything you whispered in secret. In Jesus' name, amen. If this word shook something in your spirit, comment, I receive. Drop your location and the exact time. If led, sow a prophetic seed. Support this mission and declare your faith with action. You are not forgotten. You are favored. And now you will be seen.